My father joined the Army, I think it was like about 1964 to 1971. He graduated boot camp and decided to join the 101st Airborne Division. They used to call them the Screaming Eagles. So basically his job was mostly to jump over enemy lines, secure the area for incoming foot troops. He always talked about how hard his training was. They trained in the snow, they trained in the rain, they trained in the desert, they trained everywhere. He was went to Guantanamo Bay, Panama, Venezuela, all these different places to train. He really enjoyed it, he loved it. And he always talked about the stories, and he always talked about the one story where he lost like half of his friends in Vietnam when they dropped. And they actually made a movie. It was called Hamburger Hill. My mother tells me stories when he came back from Vietnam. Since I was small, I don't remember. She tells me he never came back the same. I think it was just a lot of trauma of things that he saw, and all that craziness that went on over there. So he was never the same, but he always talked about it. But he didn't. Certain areas he didn't go specific because he didn't want to talk about it. One thing he always talked about was the worst thing that ever happened to him was when they passed their drop, they overdropped, and they were way behind enemy lines, and it took him like a week and a half to get back to find his platoon, and he says that was the worst experience of his life because basically he had to hide. Pretty much had to hide and travel at night, and I think that really traumatized him. He was in Vietnam even before they called it the Vietnam War. They called it the conflict. He said how he had always talked about how bad it was and losing so many friends, and it was terrible, And I think it traumatized him. When he came back, even my mother said he wasn't the same. He always had nightmares about it, and always talked about his friends, losing his best friends. He would jump out the airplanes, the enemy would just shoot up. They were defenseless, and he had to do his mission. The mission was Operation Apache Snow, which they jump over enemy lines and secure the area for the troops to walk, come in, foot troops. And he said it was terrible. He did a few drops that they actually fell past the drop point, and they had to troop it back to a safe zone because it was just too much enemies.